What's going on, guys? I'm Jay the Black. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about this Fresh and Fit fiasco that happened. Now, I have never made any particular video about the Fresh and Fit podcast, but there's a couple different things that are going on in regards to them and the media's portrayal of these two guys who podcast grew very fast over the last year. And it's due to the female panelists that they have on their show. They've been able to create a niche that people want to see. Okay. Now, I don't really necessarily myself watch a lot of Fresh and Fit. Here and there, I'll check out what's going on if they have a certain guest. But I know of them. I know of a lot of the heat that they've gotten. I mean, me, myself, I don't have an issue with them. But this time, it seems that Asian Doll, of all people, have pretty much launched Fresh and Fit, into a trending topic around social media. You got the likes of Joe Budden and others, the Shade Room, posting about it. All because Asian Doll got kicked out of a show. People want to go and dig up some clips where they found that Fresh and Fit hate black women. Did y'all know that? Did you know that Fresh and Fit allegedly hate black women? When I looked up the so-called evidence of hating black women, I didn't see it. It's more like preference. A lot of melanated women have preferences. Asian Doll has a preference. One of my only issues is why did Asian Doll go on the show in the first place? And also, why did Fresh and Fit bring her onto the show? I think Fresh and Fit have to know the type of people that they're bringing on their platform, because if they don't, they're going to find themselves in a mess like this. Okay? Because she can play the victim. She has fans who do nothing but play the victim every day. And they look to attack a black man wherever they could find one. And they were able to find two of them. They were able to find two black men to attack. Two melanated men to attack. Now, I don't understand why people are taking it this far. She got kicked off a podcast. Okay. They've turned it into a crusade against these two guys. They're making their platform even bigger. And that is why I'm not a fan of I'm going to make commentary, or I'm going to post this clip, or I'm going to post this so my fans can attack them and cancel them. I've never understood that. I've never been the type of guy to go at somebody when I could just ignore them. People tell me about individuals all the time. I just ignore them. I don't watch them. Like, I don't really watch Fresh and Fit like that. So when I see how they've gotten people so riled up on social media to the point to where they're saying that these two gentlemen hate black women, it just shows you that the fragile mentality of certain people and how giving them this publicity only makes them bigger. Now let's get into this from HITC. The Fresh and Fit podcast is making headlines once again as rapper Asian Doll walked out of the show recently after clashing with host Myron Gaines. Hosted by Fresh and Fit CEO and Myron Gaines, the Fresh and Fit podcast is rapidly earning a reputation for being chaotic. Once again, that's on them. That's 100% on Fresh CEO and Myron that show is getting out of control. Because you have to understand the type of people that you are bringing onto your show. And if you don't understand the type of people that you're bringing onto your show, stuff like this can happen. Or other instances where women have flipped out on Myron on the show. Or people showing up at the door wanting to speak to him, quote unquote, right? You got to be able to rein that in, man. You got to vet people before you bring them into your studio. I know it's cool to have a bunch of women there, but those women might be crazy. All right. And when you're speaking to them and you're using talking points that they are not going to agree with, you can just talk to them one-on-one and know that there's probably things that you're going to say that they're not going to agree with. And you got to be prepared for that, or not have them on your show. Branded by Gaines as the #1 men's podcast in the world. Oh, wow. It generally hosts a panel full of a bunch of Instagram models, famous rappers, and even some celebrities. A range of topics include fitness, finances, social media, and much more are discussed. Only a few weeks ago, DJ Academics got into an argument with a guest on the same podcast, and things went out of control. Y'all heard about that. Rapper Asian Doll, who was a guest on the show recently, walked off while it was still recording after a clash with the host. Asian Doll and her friend were shushed by podcast host Myron Gaines. This is the 5th time I've told you right now, like stop. The host said, in which the rapper replies, he's mean as F. She's been doing it the whole show. The host accuses Asian Doll's friend of interrupting the show constantly. I have rules, simple, it's a podcast. As the duo argument escalates, the Myron asks Asian Doll to get the F off the show. At this point, Asian Doll's manager asks him to chill, saying she don't gotta go nowhere. Once again, man, you gotta handle your show better than this. I'm not telling y'all how to do it, but once again, this is gonna be used against you, Myron, when you do things like this. Because they're going to say, oh, why are you talking to this black woman like this? That's what got people riled up. That's why you got the likes of Joe Budden coming at you. And again, I'm on the outside looking in. And I'm looking at it from my standpoint. My standpoint is when you have a show, man, you got to know the people that you're bringing in, the type of environment, and get their temperature, man, because some people ain't going to like what you're saying. And from the clip that I saw, he seemed like he didn't know her like that. Asian Doll further says, he's high, I'm calm. A few minutes after the argument subsides, the pull-up rapper decides to leave the show mid-recording. So was she kicked out, or what, did she leave voluntarily? Myron repeatedly shades Asian Doll by saying, I don't even know who she is. Once again, making things worse. Making it worse before it gets better. After the near 4-minute clip from the podcast went viral, both Myron and Asian Doll weighed in on the situation. The rapper took to her Twitter writing, I was so calm yesterday because I knew what he was trying to do. If you knew what he was going to try to do, Asian Doll, why did you go on his show? If you know how this podcast is, because I'm pretty sure she's watched it before. Because a lot of times these women will watch stuff and they'll go on the show and they will be defensive, which is probably what happened. She probably was already defensive when she got there, right? And it just got worse from there. And then Myron, him going, having his sort of back and forth with her didn't make anything better. The Fresh and Fit host, on the other hand, took to his Instagram and posted a series of stories explaining his side of the story. I respectfully explain myself and say there are rules, and she makes a disrespectful comment under her breath when the conversation was done, and then says, I don't care after being called out. Let's see. Most fans on Twitter seem to have sided with Asian Doll following what happened on the podcast. Of course, you got a bunch of females, man, who are fans of hers, who think that all black women are being attacked. Fresh and Fit done messed up this time. Everyone knows Asian Doll. This whole segment was weird on their part. I heard Asian Doll, never heard of that podcast, still don't know the name. But you're speaking on it. Huh? That Asian Doll clip is exactly why we be saying all y'all don't need a podcast. You know what's crazy? I saw a Instagram post from this guy. I got tagged in the post. No, this disgruntled female tagged me on a post where this guy was clowning in his Twitter rant. He was talking about how there are men who shouldn't have a podcast. Let me tell you something, sir. And all you people that think that Fresh and Fit shouldn't have a podcast. Fresh and Fit got chose by the market. They got chose by the audience. The people chose Fresh and Fit. That's why they have the subscriber number that they have and why they were able to grow as fast as they were able to grow. They found a niche that a lot of people like. That's why they have DJ Academics and other people on the show regularly. So when you say everybody shouldn't have a podcast, you're right. There's a bunch of these blue check mark celebrities with no personalities that should not have a podcast whatsoever. I literally never heard of the Fresh and Fit pod until the drama with DJ Academics and now Asian Doll. You claim you didn't know her, but y'all going viral for names bigger than your podcast. Well, I mean, it's entertainment. It's all entertainment, people. At the end of the day, it's all entertainment. To me, I just feel like when these guys Fresh and Fit, when y'all bring these women on your platform, man, you got to know these women, man, because they could end up making this into a situation of they hate black women, which I don't think they hate black women. They have a preference, just like a lot of these women have a preference. Asian Doll has a preference. A lot of these women have preference. They're just not as vocal about their preference, but they have a preference. They just don't like for men to have a preference. And they've made this into they hate black women, which I think is, there's no proof of that. Now, they have a preference doesn't mean they hate anybody. Okay. These women hate themselves more than they hate black women. Okay. But Asian Doll should have known the type of podcast she was going on. If you weren't going to necessarily agree on anything, because it didn't seem like she agreed on much, why go on the podcast in the first place? Let me see in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you like this video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll see y'all next one.